Good morning. All right. So, welcome to the New Species Live. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Aston.
New Species' mission is to help our clients live better and longer. We invent and manufacture our own line of high potency herbal formulas. They're all designed to support your body to be resilient against the toughest of health challenges. But since we're all on our own journey, what a good health choice means for you may be different for me. And that's why we host this Q&A every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. so that you can get the answers to your questions that will help you to continue along your own unique health journey. So thank you so much for being here with us today.
And that's why we have formulas tailored, packages tailored for everybody. You know, if you have diabetes or blood pressure or cholesterol or any issue, we can create 5, 10 different versions of new species to help you with any of those issues. So that is how flexible we are, and whatever we do to make sure that we meet your needs.
Right. And we do actually have a promotion right now going on for some of our most powerful formulas that Aston designed to help you with your health goals. And so we can talk a little bit about that. I just want to say good morning to Trevor. Good morning, Maxine. Thank you, all of you watching. If you're able to, I know a lot of you do join in your cars, so you may not be saying hello, but even if you don't have a question, we'd love for you to say
Hello.
hi so we know that you're here. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
So,
this
yeah,
promotion going on right now. Yes, Aston.
so what we have decided to do, we have decided to put our most potent, right? Our
Mhm.
most potent formulas on discount for everyone around the world. We recommend them to people who need them, you know, around the world, whether it's the Super Caveman, the LNU25, the upgraded anti-inflammatory, the upgraded circulation formula that we don't have, but I think we're going to be getting it soon.
Right, that is coming in, yes. So
Okay.
you can pre-order it.
Right. So you can pre-order that, and then we have the guard formulas, and then the milk thistle. So our most potent, highly concentrated formulas, we're putting them all on discount for a while
Mhm.
to, you know, allow those of you who have health goals or health issues and you want to see results faster. That's why we create them, to make sure that they work for you, to help you to get better faster, or to help you to ensure that the conditions you have don't get worse.
Mhm.
That's why we create these more potent formulas. The basic formulations work, but the more potent ones, they work faster. So I'm going to repeat them again. It's the Super Caveman, the LNU25, it's the Milk Thistle, the upgraded anti-inflammatory, and we have the guard formulas. All four guard formulas, we have those on discount. So all of those, even the 2-ounce bottles in the guard formulas, are on discount. So we're doing this to help you. A lot of you have kidney disease or kidney failure, or entering the phase of kidney failure. There's kidney damage. Your creatinine is high. Your eGFR is low. A lot of you use the God formula too. You can get the God formula 2-ounce or the 8-ounce. Both of those are going to be on discount to help you through, you know, your journey, your health journey, to ensure that you don't get complete kidney failure and end up on dialysis. And then the other God formula is just to rebuild the immune system against the issues you have. It could be cancer, it could be past cancer, you don't want a recurrence, or it could be chronic other diseases you have, other chronic other ailments you have, and you just want to make sure that you're doing the best that you can to help yourself. So we want to lend a hand to
Right,
help.
Mary was just showing up on screen the sale items. You'll notice that the God formulas are not actually there, and that's because Um, we can't sell those on the website because they're proprietary. We don't reveal the ingredients, and so we can't sell those on the site. But you can just call the team and place the order. If you need God formulas, you would likely already know that because you've probably been recommended it. If you've never heard of these formulas and you don't have a very serious health condition that you're working on, then don't worry about it. Not relevant to you. Maxine is asking, okay. So Maxine's currently only using the golden seal, but she's asking, she said she was diagnosed with fibrosis edema in one breast. There's no change in the last 6 months. Is there
Mhm.
anything I can take to help?
Absolutely. And again, that's why we create these. Before we answer Maxine's question, maybe we should just talk a little bit more about these formulas to let people know why they're so potent, why they're so highly concentrated, and just you mentioned manufacturing. We manufacture our own products, and why we manufacture them the way we do, why they're raw, and why they're natural, why they're organic, why we make them the way they are, why we have so many testing that we go through, why they cost so much. They cost so much because we put everything in them to make sure that they work and that they're safe. Just the manufacturing that we go through is very elaborate.
Mm-hmm.
And Jill, you do a lot of that work
Right.
with manufacturing to
Right.
ensure high quality.
Yeah. So one example is our circulatory formula. Those of you who take it, it was sold out there since late December.
Wow.
And now it's June and we just got it back in. But for the entire year before we sold out, we actually were trying to procure our next batch of raw material, is what we call it. One of the ingredients in the circulatory formula is carrot. Although we don't get the USDA certification for organic, so you don't see that on our label, but we actually do source only organic ingredients for our products. And we had purchased from our usual suppliers our batch of carrot. And we tell the suppliers in advance what our expectations are so that they don't send us batches of raw material that don't meet our standards. But we always test anyway just to be sure, because very often several things can happen. Let's say we ordered organic carrot, but there's something else in there. So when we do the testing, it shows that this is not purely carrot, meaning they're filling it with some other similar vegetable that is not carrot. Or we find remnants of things that tell us that this is not organic, that it was grown with certain pesticides. So when we test it ourselves and it doesn't meet our standards, we have to reject it. And I would say that for over 8 months straight, we were rejecting every batch of carrot. We kept switching suppliers and trying to get the right ingredient, and we couldn't. And so our formula just sold out. And that is important for you to know, that we wouldn't just make a product.
We don't cut corners.
We will not cut corners, and we will not make a product that's substandard, because the reason you're paying the money you're paying is because we're ensuring that you're getting the highest quality, highest potency, safest and most effective formula that you expect from NuSpecies, that you've probably already been taking and getting results. So for us to give you something less than that would make no sense.
Right. And a lot of you have asked me, this is a good one. A lot of you who have been waiting for the circulation formula have asked me, so Aston, I went to the supermarket and I see a lot of carrots in the supermarket. What do you mean you can't get carrot when the supermarkets are loaded with carrots? Why can't you go to a supermarket and buy the darn carrots and make the formula for us?
Oh boy. Well, the supermarkets have their own suppliers that are not ours. We go through a whole separate set of.
They don't go through what we go through.
Right.
Yeah.
But how many people told you that they tried to replicate the ingredients just by going to the grocery store and make it themselves?
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
You probably need to eat a barrel of carrots to get a tablespoon of the NuSpecies circulation formula, believe it or not.
Right. And then because of the quality,
a barrel in one eat.
And just like we tell you, like we buy the organic carrot ingredient from our suppliers, and it's not actually organic when we test it.
Yeah.
And we have to send it back. So when you think you're buying organic carrot or ginger or whatever the other ingredients are in our products that you think you could recreate at home, you're not getting the quality that we're getting. And then because we make all of our products raw, so we use cold processing, we don't kill any of the heat sensitive or damage any of the heat sensitive components of the ingredients. You're getting the most powerful version of that, what that vegetable or herb has to offer,
which is a huge cost. Just imagine we can just put a big pot on the fire and just boil stuff and throw it in a bottle and sell it to you. That's what some companies probably do. We don't boil, we don't heat. The elaborate process we go through to have our cold process is extremely expensive. Just imagine that you have that carrot, and when we extract the natural biominerals from the carrot and all the other phytonutrients. Just imagine that. The phytonutrients, phytochemicals, the vitamins, the vitamin A, all those things that are in carrots. Imagine that. We extract it. We're getting at least 97 to 98% of that one carrot when we extract it. That's how powerful it is. And it's raw. It has the enzymes in it. So that's why, our formulas cost so much. And then we make these upgraded formulas. We make them because we know they will work because the regular ones work. So the upgraded ones, more potent, more highly concentrated, they will work faster. So yes, was it Maxine?
Yes. So we also need to answer her question more directly, but yes, Maxine.
Right. So all of you who have lumps or bumps or cysts or nodules or mass, even if they're non-cancerous, just know that they could turn to cancer anytime. Don't be a sitting duck and just wait. The doctors are telling you, they're going to wait to do an MRI or wait to do a CT once a year, whatever the case is. They're going to watch it. Don't watch. Don't watch and don't monitor. Fix it. So yes, some of you may need the more potent formulas if you have these issues and they're not going away.
And I'm very impressed with Maxine for saying there's been no change in the last 6 months. Usually doctors won't really expect much change. They'll just say, we'll check in again.
Right.
So I'm really glad that you are advocating for yourself and saying, all right, this is not getting better. What do I need to do? So for fibrosis edema in one breast, she's only using Golden Seal, which I don't even think is a recommendation.
Right. So I would suggest that you use the God Formula 2 or the God Formula 3. One of those.
That's it.
If you want to use the upgraded, well, the LNU should always go with that. Whether it's the LNU 1, which is the basic, and you take an ounce, but whatever you have that fibrosis, you have to get rid of it. Don't be walking around with it and hoping that it goes away. It's there because the body can't fix it. The body is too weak to fix it. That's the only reason why it's there. So all of you now, pull up your labs. You see one abnormality in there. It's too high or it's too low. It means that the body is sick, either sick or getting sick. And don't sit in it and just hope for it to go away. If the doctors are not able to help you, maybe they can help you. And you're here now with us. Get on my calendar if you want to talk about whatever issues I have more in detail. Get on my calendar if you want us to review your labs, but don't take any chances. Just talk to us. We'll find a way to help you. So yes, you don't have to buy the upgraded formula if it's not in your budget. We have other formulas you can use, but you got to talk to us. We need to see your labs. We need to see what's wrong. We need to see the possible cause. Is it germs, bacteria, viruses, chemicals, compounds you're taking, exposures you have? A lot of you come to me, you get exposure from asbestos or other building materials in the home you live, where you work. Get on my calendar. We need to know the root cause so we can properly help you.
Right. So Maxine, there's always starter packages that are going to give your body the fundamental support that it needs to just have the energy and wherewithal to deal with this thing that's happening to you. And you're never wasting your money with a starter package. The only thing that will change when you actually get to speak to Aston is he may add on more formulas to make it more powerful to help you get faster results. And that may or may not be in your budget. So I would say get started with a starter package right away. We can link to the starter package section on our website. And I think there's even like breast related specific starter packages if you want to go there. Otherwise, in the meantime, so get the products, then get an appointment on Aston's calendar, which is free, and then he can continue to steer you in the right direction. One of the benefits of starting to use the formulas before you talk to Aston is that you now have experience with them and you can come to the appointment with him with a lot more questions, observations. You might even start feeling better just in general because we can't force your body to just do one thing. When you give your body nutritional support, it's going to start to just fix whatever it can. So it's a great way to come to the appointment with Aston. And then he can continue to tailor it over time until you start to see the results that you're looking for. Your body has to do the work. Nothing NuSpecies sells. None of our formulas are treatments for any health issue. We're not diagnosing any health issue. What our formulas are doing is supporting your body to do what it should have been doing in the first place before you develop this issue, right? And so everyone's body is going to do that differently on its own timeline. And so working with Aston and our team of RNs means that over time we keep tweaking and tailoring and looking at your labs and seeing what it takes to get your body to do what you want it to do.
And I don't want to get into a lot of the details, but just to illustrate for all of you listening that when you have an issue, it usually never begins where it's diagnosed. Like a lot of women who come to me with dense breasts or breast lumps or fibrocystic breasts or mass in their breasts or hard tissue in their breasts, the doctors use all these varying terms to describe that particular issue. A lot of times, ladies, speaking to you directly now, that issue in your breast didn't begin in your breast. It began because of your ovary. The ovary is producing excess estrogen or other hormones, and that's what's damaging your uterus, causing you to get fibroids. That's what's damaging the ovary itself, causing you to get ovarian cysts or PCOS. That's what's damaging your breast glands, ladies, causing you to have these lumps. That's what's damaging your thyroid, why you have the thyroid issues or the thyroid nodules. That's what's damaging your pituitary gland. Those of you who have those issues with the brain. So you see that that's why when someone is diagnosed with cancer, let's say breast cancer, and the doctors, they do the mastectomy and they do radiation, they do chemo, and the cancer recur because it never began in the breast. The breast was just symptomatic. It began elsewhere, and that's why, as what Jill said a while ago, that we don't look at your breast and treat your breast. We're trying to get your body to fix your whole body, because when you have a mass or a tumor or a lump, the genes are damaged, the DNA is damaged. So we're going to help you to rebuild the DNA, rebuild the genes, rebuild your endocrine system where the issue is, whether it's a lump, bump, fibers, whatever. That's what we do. And that's why one herb is never going to help you, or two herbs are never going to help you. It's never going to work. And that's why we have packages for people. We have packages because each bottle is doing something different to support your body in fixing that one issue you have. And that's why we get the results we get are so awesome.
All right.
Just wanted to say that to all of you.
Yeah. Maxine says thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. We have a question from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Can my girl take your product while we are trying to get pregnant and then when pregnant?
Yes. So if there's a fertility issue, and let me say this now, sometimes people who come to me, and we always blame the women and say, oh, you have a problem. But a lot of time it's the men. You don't have enough sperm count, or the sperm are not strong enough to swim upstream. Literally, it's like swimming upstream a river. And so both of you should get checked. But if you know that it's the lady, then we have the formula called Queen Annie. Queen Annie, the vitamin D at minimum goes on. You can go on those two and stay in them. Those will improve fertility. For the man, if you don't have enough sperm, or the sperm count is low, or the sperms are weak, because sperm are supposed to be strong. They're supposed to be very muscular. And they're supposed to swim fast, because when they get to that place where they're going upstream, they have a lot of obstacles to overcome. So, guys, if you're the problem, you need to get Big Boy or Super Big Boy along with the vitamin D. And you may need to take 1 or 2 bottles a day, depending on how low your sperm count is or how weak the sperm are. Then they're not muscular enough to swim upstream. You look at the reports, you have the motility rate is low. So if you need additional information from NuSpecies, you can get on my calendar as well. But the Big Boy for men, the Queen Annie for women, for fertility, Shador. That's why we have those formulas to support the reproductive organs.
And if there's no fertility issue, it's multivitamin is what is important. So our B vitamins, the mineral complex, vitamin D, those will be really important while trying to get pregnant. And then also during pregnancy, we just say that talk to your gynecologist just to be sure that They've looked at the ingredients and they're perfectly fine with everything in the products. I don't know about Queen Nanny after pregnant.
No,
So
once you are pregnant,
no more
you
Queen Nanny.
get rid of Queen Nanny. Don't take any more of it. We have never had an issue. It caused an issue, but we just take the precautionary measure. Once you're pregnant, you don't take the Queen Nanny. But again, as Jill says, you could talk with your gynecologist or your doctor about the prenatal care, and the equivalent that we would have is the B vitamins, the mineral complex, and the vitamin D. Those are what we have recommended. But you can get them and take them to your doctor to get their approval if that's what you prefer.
Right. And really, it's all there should be no problem. But we'd prefer your doctor say that to you than we do. I know we've had plenty and plenty of clients who have chosen to use our formulas during their pregnancies. I use them during all 3 of my pregnancies, but we don't recommend it. We'd rather you just decide what's best for you during your pregnancy, especially because every pregnancy is so unique and there could be complications that your doctor just doesn't want there to be any other factors that they have to consider. So you just never know. But in general, if there is no fertility issue, multivitamins. So that's the B vitamins complex with vitamin C, and then it has the alfalfa in it, which is an amazingly potent source of so many vitamins. So
and the folate that a lot of you know, when you're pregnant, the doctors tell you need a lot of folate to, you know, it helps rebuild the genes and DNA for the baby and the baby's brain and nerves. So our B vitamin complex also has the folate in there, or
right.
folic acid,
which is one of the B vitamins.
Yeah.
But the reason why we call our B vitamin complex a multivitamin is because you're getting all the B vitamins, but then also you're getting the vitamin C and you're getting the alfalfa, which is a whole food source of a huge diversity of vitamins, which because it is raw, those vitamins are active. Something I get confused about in the supplement industry, especially for pregnancy supplements, is when we're saying women need all these vitamins, but then the products are processed with heat. So that means the vitamins are inactive or
They're dead.
damaged or dead. So how is that helping the pregnancy? I don't fully understand that. I just know that our products are raw, the vitamins are active. And so when I'm taking a vitamin because I know I really need them to grow another human, I want to make sure the vitamins I'm taking are powerful and actually able to be used by my body.
So we talk about the B vitamins with vitamin C. We talk about the mineral complex. That's our multi-mineral, and the B vitamins with vitamin C. That's our multi-mineral. So it's for all of you. It's for everybody, not just ladies who are pregnant. It's for everybody, children, grandma, grandpa. Our B vitamins and mineral complex for everybody. So we're multivitamin, multi-mineral, and they're made from whole foods.
So you can, if you just go to our website and you go to shop, just click on vitamins and minerals, and all of the relevant products are there. Emma says, can you take the vitamins every day throughout your lifetime? Yes, absolutely. All of our formulas can be taken perfectly safe to be taken every single day because they're whole foods, because they're raw. Your body can process them, I mean, extremely easily. They're essentially pre-digested. So there's no effort at all to process the products, and they're perfectly safe. Even our detox, which we call a detox, are for the intestines and colon. Most people are taking cleansing products for their colon that are not safe to take every day. Our formula is more like a gentle scrub, I like to think of it, of your entire intestinal tract and colon, and so it's perfectly safe to take every single day as well.
And just so you know, you asked about the vitamins. So our B vitamins are made, and vitamin C are from whole foods. And what's critical for B vitamins, folks, is that the vitamins are what our bodies use to rebuild our DNA and our genes at the core. That's what our bodies use to rebuild our genes and DNA, but they have to be made from whole foods. Otherwise, our bodies can't use them. So you go to these places, can't say the names, and you buy all these pills and tablets and whatever. And if they're compounds, if they're chemical compounds, they won't do anything for you. In fact, they could hurt you more because they're chemicals that your body can't process. So you need to get if you're not going to get ours, you need to get a really good B vitamin complex with vitamin C. That's from Whole Foods, and a complete multi-mineral that's from Whole Foods. And we have a calcium as well for those of you who need calcium to support your bones and your joints. our calcium is also completely natural. And I know you're hearing we say these things from whole foods and natural and completely, and you're thinking, is that really true?
I'm gonna have to teach a course. I have to do a new
You,
species course
you
on all this
should.
stuff. But our calcium also comes from a plant source, from algae. So it is natural. It is from a plant source. It is a very, very biologically appropriate way for your body to receive calcium.
Mhm.
And I can get into a whole thing about how most calcium on the market is made from literally rock, from limestone.
Oh,
Whether it's
gosh.
calcium citrate or calcium, whatever the other one is, they are typically from rock. Your body does not know how to digest rock. And studies actually show there's many, many studies that show that there is actually no health benefit from those standard calciums on the market that come from rock. And they actually cause harm. People develop, you know, stones and things from them. So it's why we're very, very passionate that if you really feel you need extra calcium, we want to give you a plant source that's powerful. And because it's one of our products that actually only has one ingredient, because a lot of times we have many ingredients, we are able to test every single batch to tell you exactly how many milligrams of calcium you're getting from that plant source. Whereas on our other whole food formulas, we can't do that because there's multiple ingredients, and if we did that for every batch, it would be completely unaffordable. um, so anyway, our calcium is awesome, and we just need to talk about these products more.
I think so, because a lot of people out there taking, calcium and these chemical minerals and chemical vitamins or compounds. They're actually just compounds they made in a lab. And you wonder why the government of the United States allow them to be sold. The government does, because there are people out there who are just out there to make money. Some of them are called scientists, or some of them are called chemists, and they convince the government because the government doesn't know better. The government doesn't know better. I don't want to beat up on politicians, but the government doesn't know better. So these so-called scientists and chemists, they're assuming that your liver and your pancreas can produce the biochemicals to help the body to digest calcium. It's just a huge assumption they're making, and the government buys off on it because the industry, they have a lot of money, they do a lot of lobbying. So I hate to talk like this, but if you want to get a good calcium, make sure it's from whole food. If you want to get a really good multi-mineral, if you're not going to get NuSpecies, that's fine, just make sure it's from whole food. Same thing with vitamins. A lot of the vitamins in the market are chemical compounds. You want to get a really good vitamin, multivitamin, make sure that it's from whole foods. That's all I want to say to you.
All right. And there's a bunch of education we could do about our B vitamins because we do have to extract our B vitamins from their whole food source. So when you look at our label, it might seem like it's a chemical, but it's a difference because a vitamin is technically vitamins are chemicals, right? But if you extract them from whole foods, it's a natural, active, living chemical because again, we don't process it with heat. If you make the vitamin completely man-made in a lab, that's the kind of chemical your body actually can't process. So, just don't want people to look at the label and be like, "But wait, you said that this is all whole foods."
Right.
All right. We are let's see. I'm seeing some okay. Right. Um, uh, and when we say Whole Foods, we're not referring to like our products are being sold in the Whole Foods grocery store. Just to clarify, we are saying that when you read the ingredients on our labels, you're going to see the names of actual food. That is the source of the nutrients we are claiming the formula is for, versus reading every single individual nutrient on the label because it's been made in a lab and then they're just adding it in artificially. That's what we mean when we say Whole Foods. All right. So we're going to wrap up talking about Emma a little bit. So Emma was saying that she thinks she has a problem with absorbing vitamins. And I was saying, what makes you think that? Just because I know people who've had, like, let's say a gastric bypass surgery, like they literally cannot absorb B vitamins because they don't even have a portion of their small intestine. So I was
Mhm.
wondering if maybe that was the case. But Emma's saying that she goes to the bathroom whenever she drinks any water. And her
Mhm.
doctor says she's lacking vitamin D and her skin is aging really fast, and I'm
Mhm.
only 51.
Right. So you're eating good foods and you're not digesting them properly. And that's what I see with a lot of people who come to me. They're aging rapidly because their bodies are lacking nutrients.
Mhm.
So you're eating the food, but your body's not using it. and a lot of people they lose a lot of muscle. I spoke with a gentleman yesterday who has lost about 50 pounds of muscles
Oh,
over the past year alone, and he just realized that his doctor wasn't telling him that he had this chronic digestive problem, and that could be the reason. So if you want to get on my calendar and we can talk about it, you could do that. Or and otherwise, we have what I would do. I would start you off with our bee pollen, and maybe you get 4 or 6 of their little bottles of bee pollen, and take a teaspoon morning and night. Take a teaspoon of the bee pollen morning and night, just to get your liver and your pancreas, the two major digestive organs, to kickstart your digestive system. And then you add in the B vitamins, the vitamin D, and the mineral complex. I would start with those, just very basic, to start get your body back into shape, get your digestive tract back into shape. And maybe you do that for 1 or 2 or 3 months in a row. But if any of you, if you're having bloating, constipation, if you're having acid reflux, you're having any of those issues, you likely have a digestive problem. And the foods you're eating, you're not digesting it properly, which means that your body is not being nourished, people, and you're going to get sick. Like the gentleman I spoke with yesterday, you're going to get sick. If we don't feed the organs are going to they're going to be blighted. They're going to go bad, and you're going to develop diseases. You're going to lose muscles, you're going to lose weight. In some cases, people put on weight because they eat the food, they don't digest it, the body convert it into glucose and convert the glucose into saturated fats, and then you have a lot of fat cells. So it goes both ways. So if any of you if you fall into this category, you should be on our bee pollen and taking a teaspoon, not a dropper. Take a teaspoon morning and night to kickstart, to assist your liver and your pancreas to kickstart your digestive system.
June is saying, "Oh, I'm adding more products for my next purchase." Don't worry, June. With new species, because you need this is why I always say we are organic beings, we are living beings. Our bodies need powerful nutrition every single day. That is non negotiable. Whether we sometimes need medical intervention is a different story. But as far as nutrition, that's a constant. And we hope you choose new species to be your constant. But that means that during every phase of life, you might need to change up what you need from new species. It's not always going to be the same thing because your needs are going to change every 5 years. We
Mhm.
age, our lifestyles change, we're under more stress or less stress and whatever you might need. So every time you join our live stream, June, you might hear like you might be in a different phase of your life and say, "Oh, maybe I need that product now." But also keep in mind that because our formulas are whole foods, they are all providing a huge diversity of nutrition. So if you're already taking the L-Nu formula, which I think you are, June, you probably don't need the B vitamins, and maybe not even the mineral complex unless you
Mhm.
know for sure you have some sort of mineral deficiency. So some of them overlap, and you might not need to be buying them all. So if you ever need like a reset, just get on Aston's calendar or talk to one of our RNs, and they can help make sure that you're using like the most powerful thing that you need without over being redundant and spending too much money.
It's so probably shouldn't say this, but
June says, "I don't think Aston remembers me."
of course, June, are you
Get out
kidding me,
here.
my dearest darling? Are you kidding me?
She has a laughing face, so I think she's joking, but
Okay,
thank you
yeah,
for clarifying. I'm on L-Nu one. Yeah, so then you likely don't need to get the B vitamins or the mineral complex.
right. So it's so let's talk about that a little bit, because I don't want June to go off and start spending money unnecessarily, quite honestly, or any of you for that
And I wanna
matter.
get back to Emma too. So Emma, don't go.
Yeah,
We wanna say something else to you.
stay right where you are, Emma. We're coming back to you. The the formulas that we have, the basic formulas we have the B vitamins with vitamin C, we have the mineral complex, we have the vitamin D. Those are the basic formulas you need to support your genes. That's why we have them. Those are what our bodies use to rebuild the DNA and the genes. Once the DNA or genes go bad, we're going to get sick. That's why you see abnormalities in your lab report. That's why you have blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol. The genes are breaking, the DNAs are breaking, they're damaged, and they need to be rebuilt. That's why we have these whole food multivitamin, multimineral. The reason why we have the LNU formulas is to rebuild the whole body. It rebuilds everything. It rebuilds the genes, the DNA. As Jill was saying, that a lot of you, if you're taking the LNU one, you don't need to get the mineral, you don't need to get the B vitamins, because we have added some B vitamins in the LNU one. But the LNU one rebuilds the whole body. If it's not in your budget, don't worry about Legend LNU 9 or Caveman LNU 25. Don't. You don't have to. What we're trying to do with these basic formulas is we're trying to give your body what your body needs to sustain itself, from the DNA, the genes, the cellular, the organs. And as long as you're doing those and doing them consistently, you should be fine. And some of you are not going to get better in 2 months or 3 months. It may be 6 months, it may be a year, it may be 2 years, because the damage have piled up in your genes and DNA for years. So you come to NuSpecies, don't expect a miracle. There's no such thing as miracles. God gave us one miracle and we killed him. I don't think God is going to give us any more miracles. If you want a miracle, you got to create it yourself. And we are going to help you to do that by giving you what your body needs to heal itself. Yes, Joe.
Right. So for Emma, she did clarify. She said, yes, I do eat only fruit and vegetables, mainly raw vegetables. So that's excellent. And definitely don't stop doing that, because vegetables, even if they are not the potency that they would have been 100 or 200 years ago,
Still better.
it's still better than not eating vegetables, because we need the fiber. I mean, fiber is like just as important for 100 reasons. But yeah, keep eating like that. But it seems like you need to add in some powerful supplements, just because we're never going to get all the nutrients that we need from our food, even when eating like a perfect diet or whatever we think that is. So I would love for you to see Aston, or even just talk to one of our RNs and send us your labs, because if you say you're not absorbing vitamins, your labs should show that. Your chemistry panel, is it your chemistry panel?
For what?
For vitamins,
It's the whole lab.
right? Because it impacts everything.
It impacts everything, especially your red blood cells. That's where a lot of people see the problems. It's a whole lab.
Mhm. So Emma, I don't know if you've had labs taken recently, but that's a great baseline to say, okay, where am I now? And then when you start using NuSpecies 3 months from now, ideally, which the doctor may not get insurance to cover drawing your labs again in 3 months, you can pay for them out of pocket. I don't know what your financial situation is, but it's really good to know if you're seeing the results. And typically when people are using NuSpecies formulas and they're using them consistently, in 3 months, they do see those results in their labs, and you just can't argue with that. And it's very motivating to then continue to invest in your health using our formulas.
I want to implore all of you right now, and you can tell your family members and friends, you need to start taking an interest in your lab reports. You need to take time to know what's in your labs. You really do. And if you want to get on my calendar, or you want to come on this program and share your lab with us, we can go through it with you live. And don't be shameful and bashful. It may save your life. It may save your family member's life, your children's life. I think you all need to know what's in your labs, because most doctors, we've been doing this for 20 years or more. Most doctors are not telling you all the things that are bad in your labs. They're not, because they don't have medication to help you. And a lot of you walk away thinking you're fine. And that's what I see all the time. And then those problems that were ignored, eventually they come to haunt you. And then your body just can't recover. So you all need to take proactive action and start learning what's in your lab, the abnormalities in your lab, the highs and the lows. Please do that. And that will help you to live better and live longer, because now you are proactive in taking action to help yourselves. And we at NuSpecies, we're your family. We'll be there with you to guide you. We will be there with you to guide you. That's why we spend thousands of dollars. This morning, I was looking at some of our expenses over the last several years, and the amount of money we spend
This is
just
what
to
we do over
talk to
coffee at
you,
7 o'clock in the morning. We
to
scroll
talk
through
to
our
you.
bookkeeping.
I'm thinking, wow, we're spending, so much money. People, a lot of money we're spending per year just to be able to give you free education.
Mhm.
Free education. We don't charge for consulting with you that I do. We have the RNs who consult with you. We don't charge. We've been doing this for what for so many years, over a decade. We've been doing this, and then the education in this program and advertising. We spent so much money to give you free information, and maybe if we charge a little something, Joe, they'll take it more seriously.
We have to take ourselves more seriously.
But we won't. We won't charge.
Did we just talk ourselves into it? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I was thinking though there might be some like specialized programs that people would be willing to pay for. Like if you did like a series of videos on teaching people the common things that they could see in their labs and what it means from a NuSpecies perspective, because you can tell a big story from labs that I think most people find very fascinating. And so I think there's
Well,
something
if you
we could
want
do.
that, just tell us what you want.
Mhm.
Tell us what you want.
So
I'm here blabbering because you're not talking to me enough. So tell us what you want, and we'll talk about what you want.
yes, I think you were on to something for Emma because she was saying that despite eating a lot of vegetables and drinking a lot of water, she still consistently constipated. So vegetables and water is usually like,
The liver, the pancreas, the
yeah, there's
liver,
something
the
else going on.
pancreas. Those numbers in your lab, as Jill was saying, the metabolic panel, that's where you'll see, the pancreatic numbers or the liver numbers. They could be completely normal, and you have liver disease. Why? And I know a lot of you are shocked for me to say that. Why? Is because people, when you do your physical or this so-called comprehensive lab, where you do your blood tests, you do the urine test, you do the fecal matter test, the feces test. Guess what? The labs are not even seeing a half of a percent of all the things that could be going wrong in our bodies. All they're looking at is a tiny, tiny bit, less than a percent. Believe me.
Aston, well, this is what she said next, which is going to make you very upset. So try to stay calm.
Ah,
She said, I really think so, meaning that something more is wrong. But my doctor tells me I just have chronic constipation.
and there's a reason.
I just have like, how do you
And there's a
say that?
reason.
But that's not normal.
But I'm gonna
How do you just say, "Oh,
I,
it's
I'm
just chronic
I'm gonna
constipation.
I'm gonna
Come back when you
defend
have colon cancer in 10 years." I
I,
mean, come on.
right. I'm gonna defend the doctor though this way.
I'm the one who got mad. I guess
I'm
I'm the
I'm but I'm gonna defend the doctor this way. We have a ton of medical doctors who are our clients, and they come to us with constipation, with diabetes, with blood pressure, with cancer. We have a lot of clients worldwide, especially in the United States, across the whole United States, where the medical doctors, the surgeons, the oncologists, they see the way we help our clients who come to them, and they come to us and they send their relatives to us. You hear that? So the doctors don't have a solution for all the issues that you have. They don't have it, and they get the same issues and they can't help themselves. And this is what I hate to say, but I'm going to say it for you, Emma. Doctors don't live longer than anybody else. You would think a doctor have some magic wand to wave for his or her health when they get a health problem, whether it's diabetes or blood pressure, heart disease, prostate, whatever. They die from these diseases like anybody else because they're taking the same medication that everybody else takes. They're doing the same surgeries that everybody else does. So whether you just clean the streets, or you are a scientist, you're a physicist, you study to the highest level, you're a doctor, doctors, scientists, physicists, none of these people live longer than anybody else. You know the people who live long? The people who live long are the people like you who care about your health, eat right, exercise, try to get information as to what you need to do to support yourself. Those are the people who live long. And then the people who live the longest, they don't live in cities. They live in the countryside. My grandmother lived to 99 years old. My last grandmother, who died a few years ago, And she said the reason why she lived to 99 is because she eat like a poor person. She doesn't use alcohol, never smoke, and she eat from her garden. That's why she lived so long. So that's longevity if you want it. And we create NuSpecies because the foods are deficient to assist your body to support itself so you can live better and live longer. And your body can fight off all these issues. That's all NuSpecies is. It's a diet to support your whole body, your DNA, your genes, your cells, your organs. No magic, no miracle, no magic wand.
So Emma says that I haven't had labs done in about 6 months. So I was just saying that that's still relevant for now, just
Yeah,
to
the
get
6 months is
started
fine.
as a
Yeah.
baseline,
Mhm.
right? And then Nesta says, hi, says, thank you, Aston and Jillian. This is Nesta. I've been missing, but I'm constantly taking the products. I do have to get on Aston's calendar. Have a blessed day.
Hi, Nesta.
So good to hear from you. And yes, get on Aston's calendar. Just call the number, and our team will book you.
So I hate to preach, and I hope my little
He
preaching there.
loves to preach. Please.
Well, my father
His
was a
father was a
minister,
preacher.
and my mother was a minister. She was a preacher herself. Well, she was a burial preacher.
Yeah.
But sorry to have to preach to you all, but it tells you that what we do here, we take it really seriously.
Yeah, and Emily, your doctor's just doing what doctors do. Is their job is to manage sickness. It's not to create health. There are more and more doctors these days who believe in helping their patients get healthy, but most doctors are just completely inundated and burdened with just managing disease. And so when you go to a doctor, a medical doctor anyway, you should expect that treatment, which is like, okay, well, this is what it is. There's probably no treatment for constipation, so the doctor kind of hits the end of their usefulness to you,
Mhm.
which is why I'm so glad you're taking this into your own hands and saying, hey, this is not, I don't feel good. And so even if it's not enough for the doctor to say something is wrong, that I need treatment, I still know I need to do something. So you came to the right place. I mean, I'm sure we can help you. I know I'm someone who suffers with chronic constipation if I'm not doing a certain set of things, especially because I don't eat very well. And so I totally get it. And NuSpecies has saved my life on a number of occasions. I live basically on our detox and on the probiotic, our Lactobacillus acidophilus, which we need to write a bit more education for, because I think it's a very estimated product that we sell.
Mhm.
And then I also am just
Well, I'm reading product descriptions now for everything. We're
Right.
gonna we're doing that. So in another month or two, you're gonna have a lot of descriptions of our
Yes.
products.
And I also live on the L-Nu, any of the L-Nu formulas, whichever one we have on the counter, and then bee pollen. So I can relate, and I believe we can help you. So I know she said she's on a budget. So
Yeah.
if you
We
just
have a budget for
go to
everyone.
oh, and then Emma said that's very scary because I also suffer from anxiety and depression, which could potentially be directly linked to your digestive issues.
Absolutely.
So if maybe this is what's great about NuSpecies is like we've always said to people is when they come to us, they feel like there's this domino effect that their body's just falling apart. But typically there's only one or two, maybe three root causes of all of those problems. And when you give your body what it needs to start to fix the root cause, it's like a domino effect in the other direction. All kinds of things start to get better. And that's why Aston's always like, hey, I'm going to send you an extra bill because you came to us for one thing and got 10 things, because that's just how the body works.
You got 10 things that got better.
Yeah. So, bad digestion is like a straight road to depression and anxiety. There could definitely be other causes, but it's definitely a factor you want to eliminate before you spend a lot of money on therapy or something else. But so for Emma, go to our shop online. You'll see we have a section for everything under $200, and then we also have an Aston starters section that goes a bit more specifically to different ways to get started. So just explore some of those options. You can really benefit from the L-Nu, the detox powder. You can start them one at a time and add them in over time, or rotate every other month, whatever's in your budget. But consistency is going to be key for you. And if you want to have a targeted start, just because you're worried, like you don't want to waste time on one product when you should be taking another, then just get on Aston's calendar so he can tell you what to do.
The only issue in our bodies that our bodies are not going to fix, folks, The only issue is when the issue has gotten so bad, the DNA are dying, the genes are dormant or dead, because that's what create the proteins that support the organs. And then the organs start to fail, whether it's the prostate for men or for women. It could be the breast gland developing all these issues. It could be the uterus, the ovary. That's why these organs fade away and die. That's why we get liver failure, heart failure. That's why we get kidney failure. That's why all these organs fail. That's why the lung fail after a while with lung cancer, because the genes and DNA are dying or dead. And those organs can no longer support themselves. What you must do is make sure you never get to that stage, because when those genes are dead, when those DNA are dead or so damaged, they can't be repaired. They can't come back. There's nothing to bring them back. The body's too weak to bring them back. That's when our bodies die. That's when the organs die. That's when our bodies die. No one lives forever, but you can live for as long as you really want to if you support your body the right way. And that's my advice to all of you. If you see abnormalities in your lab report, don't ignore it. Something is wrong. Your body's telling you something is wrong. React to it. Be paranoid about what you see in your labs that are abnormal and find help. Don't do, as I would say, a double negative. Don't do nothing. Don't ignore it.
All right, I think that has taken us to the end of today's show. A couple of things I forgot to say at the start was we have 901 subscribers on YouTube.
Oh boy.
We need 1,000 because just because we should. But
we have 902.
We have 902 now?
Yeah.
Woo! Everybody counts. Every single person counts. So here's the thing. YouTube unlocks better features when you get over 1,000 subscribers. And we want those features because they will help us make our live stream much more useful and actionable to you. So if you are listening now and you have not subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button before you go today. Like anything that you would like here, and then also hit the notification bell so you always know when we go live if you require that reminder. But we need to get up to 1,000. So we need 98 more people.
And I'm going to take it one step further. If you love what we do, if you truly, honestly feel in your heart and love what we do, if you think we're doing a good thing for the world, for people, humanity, your friends, your family, tell them to go on and subscribe. Simple as that, if you believe it, because we're going to get a lot of benefits from YouTube that we don't have to pay for if our list goes up. And we didn't know that. I didn't know that until maybe a couple months ago. And I feel really bad.
And actually, you can't even pay for these features. You have to have a certain amount of subscribers to get access.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why it's like we really just need people to subscribe. And then also, if you're on our email list and you've downloaded our app, that's great. And we'll keep communicating with you and giving you all the updates that way. Just again, a reminder right now, between 20% and 26% is your savings on all of our most powerful rebuilding formulas. And those are already on sale on the website. So when you go to click on shop, you'll see the little sale category and the items are already there and already discounted. So that's promotion. Okay. We are looking for some kind of office space in Brooklyn because if you don't know already, we chose to permanently close our store because it was just very difficult to hire and maintain staff out there.
We couldn't find anyone to hire.
Yes. And so please, like if you have any referrals for us or any areas in Brooklyn you'd want us to consider to have like a small office so that you can come and get your products conveniently, because we know so many of you really don't want to be shipped to. And we also want to be able to see you in person. So we'd come out to that office maybe once a week. So if you have a recommendation, please email. You could just email me, Jillian at NuSpecies.com. We'd love your feedback. Just want to crowdsource some guidance here so we can get our products back into Brooklyn. And then also, if you want to see me and Aston in person, next week we'll be in Bronxville on Tuesday and Thursday from 10 to 4. So Shahrazad is off. We're keeping the office open from 10 to 4 on Tuesday and Thursday in Bronxville next week. And then you can also see us in Elmont the following week, Monday the 24th. We'll be in Elmont again from 10 to 4. Ashley is off, so the office will only be open when we're there from 10 to 4. And that's all my announcements.
All right.
Suzanne says, thank you guys. We so appreciate you all. Thank you so much, Suzanne. Emma says, I love it.
And
Thank
Trevor,
you.
normal A1C is 5.6
Oh,
and
okay.
below. 5.6 and below normal A1C.
Okay. I put generic 6, just below 6, but thank you for clarifying.
Oh, I didn't even see your response.
Right. I tried. Look at Aston actually looking at the chat and trying to do a little production over here.
Hey, I'm trying to get new skills here, okay?
All right, I think that covers everything. I replied, "Hi, Headley, so good to see you again." I replied to you in the chat. Please look for the answer. And I think that's everything. Gosh, thank you all so much for being with us here today. It's been so much fun. We love talking to you. I think we might have to cancel next week's live, but I'll tell you for sure on our email list. Our engineer's off for the day, and I'm not sure. Oh, well, okay, we'll do a rerun though. So never mind. It won't be canceled, but we might not be live. Okay.
Okay, engineer.
Now that I've thoroughly confused everybody. All right. Anyway, we might try to go live with me pressing all the buttons myself, but I don't know if I'm going to figure that out before next week. So either way, there'll at least be a rerun, which you can share with your friends and family. All right, that's it. We're out. Have a great weekend.
All have a great weekend. See you
soon.
next time.